Okay, so going into more detail, one of the main themes was family cohesiveness for the Korean families. So a number of parents mentioned the importance of encouragement. So supporting each other's goals, whether it was their spouses or their child with disability. Um, Many families highlighted the importance of acknowledging strengths in each other. So one quote or one parent mentioned that the most important thing is my relationship with my child. You need to believe in your child that he or she can do anything. So this importance of encouragement was central to these families. Another sub theme for this main theme of family cohesiveness was understanding. So families expressed having the same mind and being thoughtful and aware of each other's emotions and being on the same page. This was really important. Sharing the good and the bad with each other and being supportive of both. So this required patience and accepting differences at times, also recognizing each other's limitations or difficulties as they are. So one parent mentioned, my husband and I like to set a goal for my son's life, his future. So we like to pursue the same goals without any different ideas. We have the same ideas to set out his future. That's what same mind means. Another theme was value orientation. So again, many families mentioned the importance of personal sacrifice, whether it was moving to Canada, sacrificing their careers or lifestyles to support their families. This was not necessarily seen as a bad thing. It allowed some parents to reevaluate and reprioritize their goals, which they said brought them closer to their families. So one parent said, I thought I had to spend more time at work to achieve some worldly goal for myself and make more money and get promotions. That was the goal. But when I realized my son has autism, then I had to change my lifestyle. I had to think more about my family and what's the definition of happiness? What's the definition of life? What's the value for life? It's not only about making money and promotions. I started to think about what other values are important for families. And then I changed the priority of my life and of my family values. And so the last theme was acceptance from society. So achieving family quality of life meant fulfilling the sense of belonging and inclusion in their communities. So government support and policies to support their child with disability was mentioned by a number of families as being important in reaching a high family life. Having supports in the community that are accessible in their language and in their culture, this was seen as important as well. So family-centered programs that are culturally safe and have incorporated Korean values and Korean cultures into their development and planning. This was also this was highly valued. So one parent said, we like to create programs in accordance to my son's condition. We like to have programs where we can share our culture together. We can share our food together. We have the same mind, same feelings, and we create our own programs. So this was seen important in their definition of quality of life.
So to elaborate on the themes that came out for Canadian families, family interactions was also, a very prominent theme discussed by this sample, with participants describing both harmonious interactions, often focusing on marital cohesion, as well as discordant interactions. And they talked about friction among spouses, but also within parent-child relationships. Harmonious interactions were most frequently described, with caregivers describing their spouses as supportive and understanding, and highlighted the importance of agreeing on their child's intervention. So one mom was talking about her and her husband, and she said, we're drawn to different things. So she was referring to different approaches for her child. But we would oftentimes use each other's. Between the two of us, we centralized. I think we were both open. And for those who discussed discordant interactions, individuals described spousal friction. So one mom said, my husband, he always criticized what I tried to do with our son. with our son's program, because if he didn't act the way he wanted him to, it's obviously my fault because I didn't get the right programs in place. Not on a different page. My husband's not on any page. He couldn't have cared less. Support was frequently discussed as an important component of family quality of life, and family members described aspects of both formal and informal support. The majority of these discussions focused on how insufficient access or availability to needed support could have a significant and negative impact on family quality of life. So the first quote, it was referring to more access to more formal services. And this was from a foster parent who was, I think her son was about 18, and she was reflecting on the sort of impending change in service access their family is going to experience. And she said, for our future quality of life, I'm very concerned because I am their mom. I'm a foster parent. I guess they turn 19, I can walk away. But that's not what will happen here. So how do I support him? And another mom, in reflecting on access to social support, said, when you have no one that you can talk to about these things, that isolates you more. Your world shrinks dramatically, which really does impact the family. And within emotional well-being, caregivers reflected on the importance of this, describing both aspects of personal fulfillment and sacrifice. So within personal fulfillment, caregivers equated quality of life with being happy and experiencing an absence of stress. One parent said, family quality of life to him was harmony in the home. So without that overbearing demand to try to continually adjust their child with ASD's behavior, to live at least part of your life in a normal fashion. And within personal sacrifice, caregivers spoke about sacrificing their own physical and emotional health, as well as personal aspirations, in order to devote their energy to their children. So one mom said, it takes a toll on your own health because you're doing so much for the other, you forget yourself. And I referenced in that sort of intro slide about individual characteristics. So how participants described how the individual attributes, individual family member attributes contributed to the overall quality of life satisfaction in the family. And a lot of caregivers focused on positive caregiver qualities that they had felt made a very impactful difference for their family, such as resourcefulness, advocacy, motivation, positivity, as well as particular challenges their children experienced. So one father said, a lot of these kids with autism, they cause a lot of stress. It's like this vicious circle that we have managed to stay on top of because his wife was so motivated. Another mom said, we feel like prisoners in our own home. Our child finds it very hard to go to restaurants or malls, to go grocery shopping, just the normal everyday things. So we're prisoners. And caregivers often made comparisons to other families. They reflected on how poor levels of child capacity, such as being, lower functioning or having more behavior problems, or even caregiver capacity. So if there was higher levels of parental disagreement, how this could negatively impact quality of life. So although the caregivers in our Canadian sample, certainly described their own challenges, it was very interesting to us that almost all of them acknowledged ways that that particular circumstances could present additional struggles, and they described feeling lucky, feeling blessed, and very appreciative of what they had. One father said, every child on the spectrum is radically different. And for children that are nonverbal or non-communicative, there's a different level of frustration and effort and anxiety. And another parent said, we're so fortunate that we agree for the most part. That really alleviates so much stress.